justice, equal laws, equal rights, equal freedom. Freedom is worth living for. No matter what race, no matter what religion, no matter where you come from, let's join hands in unity. We can make it happen, you and me.
Wow, we're live. Kia ora, everybody. Welcome to Open Up Bro. Yes, fresh new season. And got my brother here, El Kaiwi.
That's us.
We've dusted him off. He's back. And we've also got an audience here on the Zoom studio, Caleb and Leon. Very shortly, in the next 5 to 10 minutes, we've got a very, very special guest. Bishop Brian Tamaki will be joining us in our studio live on the Zoom. And we're looking forward to hearing from him about up-and-coming events that are important for us as a people and the country. So stay tuned for that. Kobe, what else we got on today?
I'll tell you what, it's very exciting to be here. As you would have heard, prelude to our pre-advertisement COVID order in amongst the season. We're still forging ahead, man up, legacy, youth, nation, the family package. But now we're in a season whereby we're bringing you a platform whereby we can continue conversations, communications of what's happening around the motu. But before we go any further, I've got a 1-minute challenge, more so just to welcome in our new guest, special guest, 1-minute challenge, whānau, and I'll bring it straight to you off the cuff. 1 minute, ko wai you. Who are you? Tell us one great accomplishment. Tell us one of your favorite hobbies. And in this political climate, how is it panning out for you? And it's all in 1 minute. I've got a timer here. And we're going to start off with, I can feel the heartbeat racing. So I'll go with Outdoor Adventures with Kays. Over to you.
That's it, brother. That's it. Well, kia ora, everybody. My name's Kays. My greatest achievement, I'd have to say, was becoming a father of 2 beautiful daughters. One of my hobbies, I love hunting, fishing, and the outdoors. And this political climate is definitely one. It's probably the first time I've ever actively been in the know with what's happening politically. And it's because of some of the things that have been going on. So, been in lockdown now for a wee bit and cannot wait to get out and again. I don't need that 10 seconds, bro. I'm looking forward to hearing Leon's.
Let's go.
Kia ora tātou, ko Leon Samuels tōku ingoa. Greatest accomplishment, being born. So me coming into this world. And my hobby would be hunting and fishing. I love that. And political climate, well, I'm very much love the whole taking ownership of our destiny. So that's our Māori people rising up and literally taking hold of our own governance and leading this nation from our own people of the Māori people. So yeah, kia ora tātou.
Beautiful. I'm going to get in there. One greatest accomplishment for me is the fact that, I've got 4 beautiful kids. I'm walking a journey of no drugs, no alcohol, and like an example of decent and a future for them. One of my greatest hobbies are hanging with my brothers that advance this amazing cause. I love that. And the political climate, like the brother Caleb, I was never into politics, but I realized when this COVID order season hit us, I then found out who was in charge, and it wasn't us on the ground. And I guess this political season has given us now power and the freedom to voice our kōrero. And on this platform here, I guess it's a great opportunity. So, no more haere mai te whānau. I guess we've got a special guest that's coming on very shortly, and I'll get Kane here to introduce us.
So, Bishop's just about to join us. You can see his name popping up, and he's going to join us online. Here he comes. So, let's welcome Bishop to our talk back today.
I guess while we've got Bishop coming on, over to I've seen a AV circulating on the networks at the moment. It was particularly to a particular group that are probably not as fathomed to voting, but can you share a little bit about that particular AV, the group, and how has it been for you in the Waiariki region?
Yeah, so obviously threw up a video yesterday. It's called Ground Level Politics. Basically, my whole purpose is going around to people on the ground level in Tauranga Moana, getting their whakaaro, their thoughts about the current climate of government and the issues that are relating to us here in Tauranga. So yesterday, I had my first interview with the brother Maurice from the Grizzly Dogs, and like everyone has a opportunity to vote, no matter who you are. So Maurice was open enough to be able to share his whakaaro, and as you heard on the video, this will be his very first time he's going to vote. And he was moved by Hena Tamaki's speech or kōrero when Hena visited the Grizzly Dogs club rooms, and they were blown away by her honesty, her openness, and just how much she connected with whānau on the ground level. And so that's it.
Well, thank you, Leon. Here is Bishop with us now. Welcome, Bishop.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear,
Loud
Bishop.
and
Loud
clear.
and clear.
Oh, cool. I'm actually at the stop. I'm on my way to Rotorua, so I'm in the car. And I kicked the two Davies out, Dave Murray and Dave Kahu, so I can have some a bit of time to be able to talk. So, yeah.
Well, on that essential service work, Bishop?
Yeah. Got to supply some hungry people out there in South Auckland after these lockdowns keep going. So I went to come and get a bit of poaka.
So I guess, Bishop, there's a major announcement taking place on the 13th of September, and that's why we're here on this platform to incite our people around what's happening on the September the 13th on the Sunday. Can you enlighten our audiences? What's that all about? And the floor's yours.
Okay, well, thanks, Koe and Elder Kane and Leon and others. And to those that are listening, good that you come on, but I need to sort of give it the seriousness of what we're talking about here, because we're now leading up to the election date, which is only about 5 weeks away. And as you all know, Hannah's now in Portuguese with the candidates debate with Rawiri and Tamati this evening. So she's going hard, holding up Hannah for Vision New Zealand. And part of the strategy for this is we believe that we wanted to bring a message of the opportunity for Hannah to bring a message on the 13th that evening. But it's going to start with a stand, or if you like, at the lakefront in Rotorua. That's on Sunday afternoon down there, of course, and across the country. For those who can get there, as long as we're unlocked in Auckland, we'll still go anyway. Even if it's lockdown 4, we're breaking out. But what it's for is to get down there, because we believe it's time now for us to start to create the post-COVID future. This country's in a mess. COVID-19's messed up our everyday life. Our future is all messed up. People are in uncertainty, and these people are continuing hell-bent on lockdowns that is crushing our small businesses and our economy, as well as our lives. And the unemployment's going to rise to about 30% by the time we get to the end of the year. So it's going to be like one of those movies that you used to see at the theatre and thought this will never happen to New Zealand. You know, the zombies and all the sort of the breakdown in society and marches and looting. A bit of exaggeration here, but hey, not too exaggerated. It's coming. So we've got to start thinking now about the region like Auckland being locked down. We've got to start thinking about how we look after ourselves, how we become a participant and not just being pushed around in our future, being dictated to by other people, and particularly people who don't have God in their lives or anything about God in the future. But we need to be proactive here, and we need to realize that if we don't, as a movement, and all Christians actually who believe God and have got courage, we need to take this opportunity that in the worst times, sometimes the best things come out. Even though we're facing an uncertain future with all these lockdowns and this virus and people losing jobs, families getting shaken up, schools, and everything is really in a place of suspension. So I believe it's a place for Destiny Church, particularly, and all the associated ministries like Man Up and Legacy, Youth Nation, doing such a good job. We've been doing this, and we've been doing it at the bottom of our hearts because we believe God and we want to see people's lives change. But also, we're prepared, I believe, for these tough times where people are going to see the need, one, for, I believe, Christ, and two, that they need people who know how to help people. And that's what we've been doing. And on the 13th, it's all about that, making a stand. And that's the best place to do it in Rotorua, because that's where Hannah's going to make her first stand. But I believe it's something that's going to go national. And we're standing for the fact is that we want to be masters of our own future. We believe that we can now look after ourselves. We can create an economy that is independent of government dependency, payouts, and whatever you call them, the schemes of subsidy schemes that they're paying to businesses, and the unemployed benefit being boosted, so that people get the idea that we can sit around getting paid by the government, but also getting led by the government. And if we're not proactive and standing up and saying, right, we're taking charge of our future, we're taking the charge of our future because of our children and our grandchildren, and we believe as Māori, first of all, but all people, that we have a right now to exact mana hapu, mana whānau, and also mana motohaki. That means that we're capable of taking our future into our own hands, that we want to manage our own lives, want to manage our tomorrow, and we don't have the confidence in the government and other organisations that are lost their way. We need to take leadership. And so standing on the 13th means that we're going to send a clear message that we're tired of waiting for outside sources and organisations and government agencies and other types of organisations, as I was saying, who will try and make your future and make it an oppressive future. So I guess this is a bastion point. In the Bay of Plenty, we had a standing that will gather en masse, and I don't know what the levels will be, but I'm not too worried about that right now. And that's where we can begin to say that we're not going to wait any longer for the broken promises we keep getting from different politicians and parties and other people. We're going to take it into our hands and say, right, we're going to provide for our kids. We don't want to be renting our own land and don't even own any land, actually. We don't own the homes we're renting. It's time for us to own homes. It's time for us to own a better whenua to raise our children and our children's future on. It's time for us now to initiate our own innovative businesses. It's time for us to use the money that should be now shifting from iwi, and we're thankful for what they've done in the past and investing our money. But now I believe is a shift where iwi needs to get that money to where it's most needed. There are people on the ground who are now facing all sorts of obstacles, and they're facing hardships, layoffs, and they don't even own their own homes. No guarantee of income or food. This is the time, it's drastic times, but it takes drastic measures. These are radical times, but it's going to take radical people, radical leaders, and radical everyday families to make a stand. And I'm giving you that chance on the 13th of September in Rotorua at the lakefront. And then we'll proceed with a hikoi up the main street to the lights and to the Howard Morrison Centre, turn left. And then we go out to the government gardens and to the event centre. It holds a few thousand. And there we'll have a hui, and there's going to be some stats and facts given. And what we're talking about now is creating, I guess, our first mana motohaki, self-management, self-governance, and self-sustaining, self-determining, and self-belief that we're not going to just leave it in the air and be guided by misguided people. So that's what's going to happen. We believe it's going to be a great interruption into all of the mess, all the false voices, and we're going to bring the voice of God and the voice of sense. And we're going to start now to create the future that we believe God has already given us the blueprint to. So I've rabbited on a bit. Sorry, guys. But that's basically it. I've got to give you the details. So Kaiwi and Kane, thank you for giving me the opportunity to share this future-changing, life-rattling time that we're going to have on the 13th of September in Rotorua in the Wairiki.
Thank you, Bishop, for taking the time to not only speak to us, but the many listeners today and those that will hear this message. Very encouraging, very insightful for Māori and for our country. Thank you very much for giving us a clear direction, what we need to do next. We've got a very good brief of all the information that Bishop's outlaid already, so we're going to follow through on that on the next few weeks, giving everybody that opportunity, as Bishop said, to be a part of a moment in time of change for our people. Bishop, look, I know Māori are people of potential, but there are also people also that are politically neutral and often are inactive when it comes to making their vote count. Maybe a bit of encouragement towards...
Awesome. Yeah, great question, Kane. Just to those who listen and listen later on, or you can share this, but this is not a time to stay silent, particularly for Māori and Pacific Island voters. It's not a time to be silent. That means your vote can be your voice. And your voice matters. And your voice can be spoken through your vote. And those are the people that you trust to speak for you, to act for you, and to give direction for you and your whānau's life. So it matters who you vote for. And I'm going to cut to the chase here. I don't believe any of those parties we've voted for backward and forward, like National Labour, New Zealand First, and the Greens, of course, and ACT, all those parties have had long tenures or turns and trying to get us. And that's half the reason why we're in this mess now, because we've had corrupt politicians, we've had self-serving politicians, we've had politicians that don't actually know what's going on in the real world, they're out of touch. I can tell you this right now, and you might say, oh, you're favouring, you're talking. No, hold on, wait a moment. I'm endorsing Hannah Tamaki, not because she's my wife, although she's a rocket pocket, man, a pocket rocket. But she's lived it. She lived experience, 5 generations in whānau, and that's a whakamana hapu. For all those who say that I don't know what I'm talking about, that's 5 generations of families we've lived through, successfully raising them and living in the communities and been doing very well. We need to get back to family. COVID's pushing us into there, and we've got to stop voting for the same old parties like Labour and the Māori Party, and those Māori MPs and Labour have done nothing. During the child lifts, during the time of our poverty and our families have been ripped apart and the prison numbers have swelled, and we've had Māori who have been unemployed and living, renting, not owning, and don't actually get the opportunities or the chances they should because of bad Māori politicians that have been in Labour and the Māori Party. Both of them have served over 10 to 12 years, and the stats got worse for Māori. In fact, they've never been worse in our history. And those 2 parties of Māori MPs, and you might say I'm critical. No, you need to know the facts. And the facts are they haven't served us well. If they have, then we wouldn't have baby uplifts. We wouldn't have our prisons running out of space, filling them up with our wahine and our tane. We wouldn't have all of these 250,000 Māori Pacific children under the age of 5 in abject poverty. So that's why I'm saying at least you can see that we need to have a change. Absolutely. We need to stop voting for the same old things that don't work. The horse is dead, dismount, get off it, find a party like Hannah Tamaki and Vision New Zealand, Matakete o Aotearoa. That's the party for our people. That's where Māori and Pacific should be getting behind, because we will do the mahi, because we've done the mahi. We're not giving promises like those other fellas and they've got no work behind them. No evidence, no proof. And people who stoosh us on there and hoe into us and criticise and mock me, Destiny Church and Hannah and Vision New Zealand, You got to put up your works next to ours.
Right.
The evidence of what we have accomplished is proven. And I have to talk like this because there's a lot of ignorant people out there, clowns, muppets, and eggs that keep on twisting things on Facebook. And I'm saying that because you can't be eggs in this season. You can't have a muppet leading your family or some clown running around after conspiracy theories. You got to get with people who have been doing it. And that's what Man Up's been doing. Man Up is one of the biggest and the most accomplished, achieving organizations for men's lives, taking them from all sorts of backgrounds of addictions, alcoholism, perversion, and beating his missus up and leaving his kids and neglecting them, turning them around and making them something of a father and a husband to their wives and to their children. That's what it's about. We've got to talk hard and fast now because these are dangerous days.
Absolutely.
COVID's not going to leave any mercy behind. And you've got to attach yourself to reputable and organizations and politicians and people every day like Man Up and Legacy. You know the history.
Yeah.
Even Hannah's candidate and her contestants, those that are contesting against us in the Māori Party and in the Labour Party, admitted when asked by Te Ao Māori that Man Up is definitely one of the most successful programs for Māori and particularly for men that's going right now. So how's that? Even our opposition had to say the success of Man Up has no doubt about it. So why wouldn't you endorse it? Vote for it because our people need it right now. So that's why you should vote Vision New Zealand. There you go. It's the best answer I can give you.
Awesome.
Sorry for going on.
Thank you very much, Bishop. I'll also, we've got a platform here that will continue to communicate. But one thing I wanted to say is thank you very much from us. This is Open Up, bro. Real talk. And we love the real quarter because it ain't about hui anymore. It's about the doing now. We want to honor you for taking the charge to not only keep us working on the ground, but now hit the top, which is where we are back in our Waiariki candidate. Hannah, and thank you very much to yourself for joining us on the session. We'll lead on with your essential service on the Waiariki. Very helpful information to our people, and we'll continue to put it on.
Awesome. Well, Tiro and the essential service right now is joining the two Davies for a cup of coffee, and there's some pies in their mouth. Okay, brothers, ka kite.
Ka kite, Bishop.
Well, there you go, folks. Bishop Brian Tamaki and true to form, real talk, and straight down the barrel around the issues. Some may think it's political. This is not political talk.
That's right.
The fact that it's politically focused because anything that has to do with family is political because they make decisions based on the resource, the culture, and the policy and all that sort of stuff. So we've got to be really sharp and onto it when it comes to the actual. Oh, well, here he is.
No. I'm trying to get off here. Inexperience. I'm just going to get out of here.
You're gone. See ya.
That's cool. We're just so impromptu today. It's fantastic. But as I was saying, politically neutral is just basically saying I'm up for grabs. Whatever goes, and whatever policy changes happen. We're going to get into that a lot throughout the next few weeks. We're going to look at what we call the kill bills. Legalization of euthanasia, legalization of abortion, the cannabis, and also the hate speech. So those are big items, aren't they? That have to do with a lot of our homes and our culture and the way that we live. You know, the social distancing. See, Tolkai, we 2 meters, baby, 2 meters, but he keeps trying to look at
2 centimeters, Whānau, 2
centimeters.
centimeters. But I'll talk over to you there, Leon. You're in the Waiariki district. The issues that are facing our whānau, and it is right what Kane's saying. People are saying, oh, this is all political, but you're on the ground there. What are the feelings like? What is the demographic? What are the issues that are facing our whānau that only can be dealt with by a political voice or a political vehicle? What is it for you?
I suppose coming from the Tauranga Mona area, which is why I've been doing these videos, is to get the ground level real talk, really, as we're talking real here and Open Up. So it is on the ground level, it's real talk. And I think some of the key things that are relative to here in Tauranga Moana are, number one, housing or lack of housing ownership. Homelessness is another big issue here in Tauranga Moana, which I know is a political agenda as well. So that that can be solved through the political realm. Also, another big one is suicide is a huge issue here in Tauranga Moana, and I know that thousands, millions of money has been thrown at this issue, and we know that money doesn't solve that. It's the stuff that Man Up's doing. It's the stuff that Legacy's doing. It's the real groundwork people that are making the change in this area. So I'd love to see pūtea and funding go towards these programs that are actually working on the ground level, as opposed to a government-made program that has no attachment whatsoever on a political level. So it's real people meeting real people, bringing real solutions and answers because they've been through it, they've come through the other side, and now they're a changed man, a changed woman who's literally seen the light and now are being the light to so many other men and women within Tauranga Moana. The thing I love about this team is that you're getting these men and these ladies that are now walking in a new path, and all their whānau are now commenting on how awesome these men and these women are looking, how they're talking, their lives have changed, their homes have changed, and now they're being an example to so many other men and women. To be honest, I would pick them over any PM parliamentarian today. They're the ministers, they're the real ones bringing the change to our nation. So it's a few things for me.
Before I go over to Kays, Bishop Brian Tamaki obviously dropped a bombshell, but also what I need today, whakamana hapu. But he also mentioned Bastion Point, and he also announced 13th of September, the stand. For you being in Waiariki, you're going to come across, and what's that like for you, just hearing what Bishop Brian Tamaki just shared there? What to you and its importance?
Yeah, well, obviously that's huge, and it's needed. Like I think I heard the word interruption. There has to be an interruption to this current political environment. We can't keep having hooies. We can't keep talking about this and that. Something has to stand, and something needs interruption. And I believe this on the 13th of September is exactly that. It's an interruption to this current government. In fact, many governments before that have laid a foundation that hasn't worked. And so, if we're going to keep voting Labour, if we're going to keep voting National, this is political, is it? If we're going to keep voting nationalist parties, then we're just going to set ourselves up again. If our future is going to look different and if it's going to look better, then we can't keep voting the same, and we can't keep voting for these parties that have promised much but have given nothing. And I think this is where September 13th is going to be the key whānau. We got to get there, Waiariki, we got to get there in numbers, because numbers matter.
Well, that's beautiful passion, Leon, and I'm from Waiariki too, and that leads me into our next introduction with Caleb here. Howie's Big Three, Te Arawa Te Waka, Howie Morrison.
Yes, yes. So we've pulled together an event, and the brother Uncle Howie Morrison Jr. is running at the helm, pulling this all together for us. So very, very fortunate. And the hunting con itself is around obviously embracing our whānau that hunt and gather kai out there. But we've also brought a message through with this event, and for many people out there that love to gather kai for their whānau, there's a thing out there that's called 1080 poison at the moment. And, for us, wanting to pull people together that believe that, hey, we have the power to look after our resource. We have the power to look after Aotearoa. And rather than putting a poison in there that is not working, putting a poison out there to keep number pests down and all of those sorts of things, why not talk to the people who care about the outdoors, who care about this resource? Because it's not just a lot of people mistake hunters and fishermen as people that go out, shoot an animal, or go out and fish sport. There's a lot more to it than that. For us as Kiwis, fishing and hunting runs deep. It's a tradition for some. It's a way of life for others. For some people, they're not in the rural towns. That is how they put food on the table. And so for us, we're bringing quite a strong message to this hunting competition, and we've had some amazing sponsors jump aboard. But all of that sort of stuff aside, this 1080 poison is something that a lot of people are starting to want to rise up against. And again, bringing it political, it's man, I thank Hannah Tamaki so much for the work that she's doing in this 1080 bill, because I'll tell you what, no one else is wanting to run up straight up again. And talking to her, she's lost dogs to 1080 poison. So there's a real personal testimony there. There's a real a connection to this message. There's a real connection. There's not just political. We need to do something, and then nothing happens, because it's been the cry out for a lot of hunters for a long time. People say, yes, I'll go in and I'll advocate. Yes, I'll go in. And then they get in and nothing changes. So it's time somebody that's lived it, somebody that is passionate about the outdoors. Man, they say tourists come over here to look at the birds. Tourists come over here to enjoy our wildlife. They come over here to shoot a deer. They come over here to catch a fish. They come over here to experience what we as Kiwis can sometimes take for granted, and that's the outdoors. So really grateful we've got a platform to push this 10-year message, because it needs to stop. So that's enough.
Information regarding this event is going to be tagged onto this post. But Caleb, the big three, I'm confused. Is it a burger? Is it a...
What is it? All right, so some of the detail. So for those out there that are like, okay, what's going on here? So we've got biggest stag, which is deer, red, biggest pig, and these are wild pigs. There's been some funny commentary about some tame ones being brought in. Biggest wild pig and biggest snapper. So those are the three categories. We've got a whole lot of prizes in place. Massive shout out to all the sponsors that have jumped on board. So the biggest category, there's a first, second, and third for each of those categories. Money prizes, there's giveaways. We did the early bird prize last night, and that was a Kontiki setup, a couple of grand's worth of gear given away for the early bird prize. So that gives you an indication as to how this competition's coming together. So heaps of prizes, heaps of spot prizes on the day. And also, so this is kicking off next Saturday at the Bull Ring in Taupo. So for those that are in the know with hunting and fishing competitions, the Bull Ring has been an OG spot for hunting competitions for generations, and there's not been a hunting comp there for a very long time. So it's been quite exciting to be able to rekindle that and bring that back with this comp.
Tip, I know you're a king fisherman. What is the key to catching the largest snapper? Don't give away all your secrets, but what is a tip largest snapper, mate?
So, like one of the things that I've had to really put in time learning is how to keep them off the land. And fresh bait for me, fresh bait is you cannot beat when it comes to catching good sized snapper. And I've been known to swim out a whole mullet almost, for a big snapper. And people look at me like, what are you trying to catch? When a big snapper comes up.
Onshore fishing, the Matakana Island King, what would you say to that? How would you catch this largest fish, Leon?
I would have to take Kay's advice there, Kane. Definitely good advice there. Livey, good live kahawai certainly attracts the big boys when you're out there on Matakana Island as well. I've gained a few tips from Kay's myself, so haven't had the chance to put it into action with all this COVID lockdown stuff, but we're good. We're ready to slay a big snapper for the competition.
Let's go.
We'll be seeing, Caleb, any of those big three at the big 13th September. We'll be seeing a big boar, a big kingy there, Let us a little bit more about that, and how it's connected in with the 13th.
Yes, that's right. And so, as it's been quite well linked there, I must say, Mr. Kai, that was really well linked. We're bringing some of this wild meat to the 13th. So any of the family that are coming through to stand, like it's been said, there's going to be a hangi put on, some kai there. And that's going to be caught with a whole heap of love from the hunters that are standing alongside you on the 13th. So, yeah, it's a beautiful flow on.
Thank you very much, team. What I'm going to do is, Caleb, Leon, it's been a blessed to have you on set today. What we're going to be doing each week is to our audience is that we'll be coming to you at the same time, same place, but with the information with Outdoor Adventures with Kate and the hunting trip, we will be linking it here. But before we do part ways, we are biased. Man Up New Zealand Legacy is definitely going down the road of not being political, but being a voice for our people in this political climate. And Hana Tamaki for Waiariki, Party Vote Vision New Zealand. In closing, for Kane, Leon, and I guess Caleb, why Hana Tamaki? We'll go over here.
Oh, okay. Why Hana Tamaki? A standalone woman leader, 40 years experience, mother, wife, grandmother, great-great-grandmother, mother-in-law.
Example is everything, and Hana Tamaki examples throughout speaks more than anything else. As Kane has said, she brings honesty, she brings straight up the middle, and most importantly, she's a voice for I believe every true great level Kiwi in this nation. So vote Hana Tamaki for the Waiariki candidate, the big V. Kia ora.
Awesome. Yeah, all of that, and you guys stole some of what I was wanting to say there. Should have gone first. But even to add,
Labour.
yeah, you just let me say my piece, please, man. Even to add to that, I've watched her over the years in the media get bullied. I've watched her get talked about in the media. She's never ever buckled. Her beliefs and what she carries, who she is, has never ever been swayed by the people around her. She's always stood, and she's always stood strong. And I know that we've never seen a politician go into, and I'm being really honest, they've stood before they got the position, they've gone in, and then they've been buckled. And I'm looking forward to seeing somebody I know for a fact will not buckle go into politics. So vote, like it's been said, Waiariki, big tick Hana Tamaki, and then for all of us around the rest of the Motu, man, big tick Vision New Zealand. That's us. That's us.
Well, we're gonna end it there, guys. Thank you very much, Leon and Caleb, for joining us, and also to Bishop Brian Tamaki for availing yourself to give us some really good, clear direction for up and coming events. We're going to win. We're in to win. We don't start a race. We don't enter the ring to come second. That's without saying. We're in to win. I just want to promo next week. We did that. We really get into some really good discussions, and they are political discussions. And Bishop's coined the term "kill bills," policies and bills that are around destroying life. First one we're going to address is next week, euthanasia bill, basically taking out the elderly. And we're going to speak to a man that I guess you could say held the hand of the woman that raised him, that was his mother, right up to the last breath. We're going to talk to him next week about that experience of not only living with his mother, although as being a son, but those last moments, those last 24 hours, those last breaths, how important it is to hear it from him around why he is not going to be, I guess, pro euthanasia, and nor is Vision New Zealand. So that's why we're bringing it up. That's why we'll have that guy next week on the panel to talk to us about his life experience around holding the hand that raised him and to the last breath. So that's something to look forward to. Whānau, share this post. Right. Thank you very much again, Whānau, for joining us. It's been a very good political discussion. If it hasn't been, at least you've been online to get something positive, maybe for yourself. Man Up is still available, 0800 1 Man Up. We have many locations that you can get yourself connected to, either a meeting of level 2 where you engage with people. In Auckland at the moment, level 3 where we do Zoom or video calling in small groups. Man Up continues through all levels. So please, 0800 1 Man Up if you need that type of support. That's also for our women as well, Legacy. You can also contact the 0800 1 Man Up to find out where the nearest Legacy woman support group is for you and your community. So I'm going to sign off here. Thank you very much. God bless.
God bless.
Close to you cause you need to. Be careful for the people that deceive you. Keep a lookout for the ones who will talk when you're gone, but never keep the same energy when they see you. Keep the ones that are always there when you ride. Those ones are really hard to find. Cause when it comes to it, it'll show when it's time. I will never need a doubt who's behind. That's my team, that's my team. Loyalty over everything, that's my team, that's my team. From the bottom where we grinding, that's my team, that's my team. To the top where we shining, that's my team, that's my team. Loyalty over everything, that's my team. Yeah, loyal to the sword, that's just how I'm raised. Never catch me in my town feeling out of place. You either come in peace or you can't fit on the table where we eat. Either way, boy, you out of space. Couple oosters riding with me day ones. Same oosters carrying my casket when my day comes. Same oosters that'll press me if I change up. Same oosters that'll press you if you say something. 10 toes down with the squad to keep it lit. They used to deal the fiends, I'm trying to make them legit. Trying to make them some money without having to make a flip. Trying to give them a buzz without having to take a sip. Cause as a leader, you're supposed to put it first. Even if your own criticize your work, minimizing your worth. I'm trying to see who in search and change the suit and tie. From rocking it in the courtroom to rocking it in the church. Get me wrong, I ain't perfect, I'ma need to. And if the bros put in work, then I'ma swing too. Always hear the talking about running the ball when there were times counting up. That's my team, that's my team.